Now that we've explored what a signal is, its various sources, and how these sources align with both ICSRs and PBERs, it's time to dive into the signal management process. This process is a critical component of pharmacovigilance, ensuring that potential safety concerns are identified, evaluated, and acted upon effectively. According to GBP Module 9, the signal management process is defined as a set of activities performed to determine whether, based on an examination of ICSRs, aggregated data from active surveillance systems, or studies, scientific literature information, or other data sources, there are new risks associated with an active substance or a medicinal product, or whether known risks have changed, as well as any related recommendations, decisions, communications, and tracking. The EU signal management process consists of the following key activities like signal detection, signal validation, signal analysis and prioritization, signal assessment, recommendation for action, communication. Let's break down each step. Signal detection. This is the process of identifying potential signals using data from various sources. The data sources could be spontaneous reports, clinical trials, literature, or observational studies, or real world evidence, etc. All the sources that we learned earlier. The methods that we follow to perform signal detection could be quantitative, that is, disproportionality analysis, or qualitative methods, or a combination of both. The goal over here is to identify unusual patterns or trends that may indicate a new or changed risk. Next is the signal validation. Over here, we try to identify whether the signal is new or previously or known. The steps involves assessing the quality and reliability of the data supporting the signals. And what we focus is to ensure the data is, as I said, credible and warrants further investigation. Once a signal is validated, we perform signal analysis and prioritization. Here, the strength of evidence, clinical relevance, and potential public health impacts are evaluated. The factors considered are the severity, the frequency, and impact on patients. And the outcome, what we are trying to see over here is based on the available information, how do we prioritize the signal, and then what is the urgency on the actions that we need to take. And following the analysis and prioritization, one thing what we need to be aware is prioritization happens throughout the signal management process. It's not just after validation. It's a continuous process. And signal assessment. This is a thorough evaluation of the signal to determine if it represents a new or changed risk. The data we analyze would be review of clinical trials, epidemiological studies, and all other relevant data. A thorough, detailed evaluation looking at the strengths and evidence of each and every source is performed to say whether it is a new risk or a changed risk. The consideration what we look into is the causality, the severity, the population affected, and the overall risk benefit profile of the product. So at the end of signal assessment, we clearly document the findings from various sources, evaluating the strengths and weakness, and finally making the conclusions to either refute the signal or confirm it as a risk. And based on this assessment, we propose the appropriate recommendations for actions. Again, the recommendations could be updating the product label or the RMP, or conducting the further studies, or implementing any risk minimization measures. And the recommendations what we propose are usually submitted as a variations to the regulators as well. And the actions that we propose are proportionate to the risk which is identified. And finally, for the risks that we have identified, we need to communicate to the various stakeholders. The stakeholders could be regulatory authorities, healthcare professionals, patients, internal teams, or business partners. The goal over here is to ensure transparency and informed decision making for all the stakeholders. So, from the overall signal management process, what are the key objectives and the key questions that needs to be addressed at each and every step of this signal management process, from detection to communications? So in signal detection, what we are trying to say is there any new information coming from review of various sources for our product? In validation, what we are trying to say is this signal related to the product, and does it justify performing a deeper analysis? When it comes to analysis and prioritization, what we are trying to say is, okay, if this could be a signal with a product, what could be the effect of it and what could be the perceived impact of it, and how do we react it? Sometimes, as I said, prioritization does not happen after validation, it happens throughout the process. So sometimes we need to take immediate actions at the detection phase itself and not wait till the final evaluation is completed. So over here, analysis and prioritization, it also helps us to take or react. How fast do we need to react it? Do we characterize a new signal to be a standard risk or a high impact risk? When it comes to assessment, what we're trying to find is we are doing a comprehensive evaluation of all the data sources, and we are documenting the strengths and the weakness of each source to come to a final scientific conclusion whether it is a confirmed risk or do we refute it. So everything is documented in a signal evaluation report or assessment report. This is where we actually document the complete thorough evaluation. And the recommendations for action. Okay, as per the assessment, we have assessed and we confirm it to be a risk. So now that we know that our drug causes an event, how do we minimize this risk? As a marketing authorization, it is our responsibility to ensure that the benefits always outweigh the risks. And whenever there are risks identified, we need to propose the appropriate risk minimization measures. And that is what we do in the recommendations for actions, focusing on minimizing the risk which is newly identified. And finally, the communication is assessing who all needs to be informed so that they can take informed decision. By following the structured signal management process, pharmacovigilance teams can effectively identify, evaluate, and address potential risks, ensuring the safety of medicinal products and protecting the public health. So the overall key takeaways of the signal management process is that it is a structured, step-by-step process designed to safeguard patient safety. Each step from detection to action and communication builds on the previous one, ensuring a thorough evaluation of risks. And it also tells us that collaboration and communications are critical to the success of signal management, ensuring all stakeholders are informed and are aligned. This signal management process is a very deep subject, and in our upcoming sessions, we'll dive deeper into the various steps of signal management process. So stay tuned for detailed insights, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified about our latest updates and new content on this.